The red dust of Mars swirled around the newly built colony dome as Commander Jack Thompson stared at the blue marble of Earth through the observation window. Humanity had finally done it. After centuries of dreaming about the stars, they had established their first permanent settlement beyond Earth. The dome housed 500 of Earth's brightest minds, and its success had united the planet like never before. Little did Jack know that this achievement had sealed humanity's fate in the eyes of the Galactic Council. High above Earth's atmosphere, hidden behind advanced cloaking technology, the Council's warships moved into position. In their grand chamber billions of light-years away, the Council had voted. Earth was advancing too quickly, showing too much potential. History had taught them that letting young species develop unchecked often led to chaos in the galactic community. The humans have achieved too much in too little time, the Council speaker had declared. Their rate of technological advancement is unprecedented. If left unchecked, they could destabilize the entire galaxy within a century. The strike began at dawn over New York City. Jack was in the Mars colony's command center when the first reports came in. The massive view screen showed live feeds from Earth's major cities. Beams of intense purple energy sliced through the morning sky, cutting through buildings like they were made of paper. The Empire State Building, a symbol of human achievement, crumbled in seconds. "Get me Earth Command," Jack shouted, his fingers gripping the edge of his console. But there was no response. The alien weapons had targeted communication centers first. In London, the energy beams swept across the Thames, turning the river into steam. The Parliament building collapsed as thousands fled through the streets. Tokyo's skyscrapers melted under the assault, their steel frames twisting like candle wax. Similar scenes played out in Beijing, Moscow, Delhi, and every major city across the globe. Earth's military forces scrambled to respond, but their most advanced weapons couldn't penetrate the alien ship shields. Fighter jets exploded in midair, their missiles bouncing harmlessly off invisible barriers. Nuclear missiles were intercepted long before they could reach their targets. From his helpless position on Mars, Jack watched the systematic destruction of human civilization. The colony scientists and engineers worked frantically to understand what was happening, but they had never seen technology like this before. "Sir," his second-in-command reported, her voice shaking, "we're receiving a transmission. It's being broadcast globally." The alien message appeared on screens worldwide. "People of Earth, this is the Galactic Council. Your rapid advancement has been deemed a threat to galactic stability. Surrender now, and we will allow your species to survive under our guidance. Resist, and we will eliminate all human life. You have 1 hour to respond." In the colony's command center, Jack saw something that gave him hope. Dr. Emma Reed, their lead scientist, was already analyzing data from the attack. "Commander," she said, her eyes fixed on her screens, "their weapons are leaving unique energy signatures. Every blast is teaching us about their technology." The Global Defense Force's hidden bunker beneath the Rocky Mountains was still intact. General Rogers, the highest-ranking surviving military officer, took command of Earth's remaining forces. His message to all surviving military units was brief. "Play dead, act defeated, but remember everything." Within the hour, Earth's remaining leaders sent their response, a message of complete surrender. The alien ships ceased their attack, having destroyed every major military installation and government center on the planet. Billions had died in the brief but devastating strike. But even as the Council's ships moved into orbit to begin their occupation, humanity was already adapting. In underground bunkers and hidden facilities, survivors began gathering data. Every piece of debris from the attack was collected and studied. Every energy reading was analyzed. On Mars, Jack Thompson looked at his team. "They think they've beaten us," he said quietly. "They think we'll accept this. But they've just made the biggest mistake in their history. They should have killed us all, because now we know they exist. Now we know what's out there. And now we know what we're fighting for." Dr. Reed looked up from her computer, her eyes gleaming with determination. "And they've given us exactly what we need to fight back. They just don't know it yet." The Galactic Council had expected submission. Instead, they had sparked a fire that would eventually burn their empire to the ground. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't its technology or its military might. It was its absolute refusal to accept defeat. The war hadn't ended. It had only just begun. 3 months after the devastating attack, Dr. Emma Reed stood in an underground lab beneath the ruins of Denver. The facility, once a storage basement for old military equipment, now housed some of Earth's most brilliant minds. On her workbench lay pieces of alien technology recovered from the attack sites. "Look at this," she said to Commander Thompson, who had returned from Mars to help coordinate Earth's secret resistance. She held up what appeared to be a fragment of alien hull material. "When we hit it with our strongest lasers, it doesn't just block the energy, it absorbs it." The Council's overseerships still orbited Earth, but they paid little attention to what they saw as primitive human survivors. They had destroyed all major military installations and weapons. In their arrogance, they believed humans were now harmless. They were wrong. Deep underground, a network of tunnels connected various bunkers and labs. The Council's sensors couldn't penetrate the natural rock layers, especially after Dr. Reed's team discovered how to scatter their detection beams. In these hidden spaces, humanity planned its comeback. "We've copied their communication codes," reported Mike Peters, a former hacker now working with military intelligence. "They don't even encrypt their regular transmissions. They think we're too primitive to understand their technology." Commander Thompson smiled grimly. "Keep monitoring them. I want to know everything. Their patrol schedules, their supply routes, their chain of command." In another section of the facility, Dr. Reed made a breakthrough. She had been studying the energy signatures from the alien weapons, and something caught her attention. "Their weapons use a form of plasma we've never seen before," she explained to the gathered scientists. "But look at this." She activated a makeshift testing device. A small purple beam, similar to the ones that had destroyed Earth's cities, shot across the room. "We've replicated it, on a small scale, but it's the same technology. And better yet, we know how to block it." The Council had made a critical mistake. They had shown their hand too early, revealing their advanced technology to a species known for its ability to adapt and innovate. Every piece of wreckage, every energy signature, every stray transmission became a puzzle piece for humanity to study. Meanwhile, on the surface, humans played their part perfectly. They acted defeated and broken. When Council observers made their routine checks, they saw exactly what they expected: a primitive species struggling to survive amid the ruins of their civilization. But underground, humanity was changing. The old rivalries between nations had vanished. There was only one enemy now, and it wasn't each other. Scientists who once competed now worked together. Soldiers who once faced each other across borders now trained side by side. 6 months after the attack, the first prototype of a new weapon was ready. In a hidden test chamber deep within the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Reed demonstrated it to Earth's remaining military leaders. The weapon combined Earth's nuclear technology with the alien plasma systems they had reverse-engineered. "The aliens think they understand nuclear weapons," she explained. "They've designed their shields to block them. But they've never seen them combined with their own technology." The test target, a piece of alien hull material, didn't just break, it disintegrated. The gathered leaders watched in stunned silence. For the first time since the attack, real hope began to spread. Commander Thompson addressed the group. "We have one advantage they don't expect: desperation. They think they've won, so they've stopped advancing. But we've learned more in 6 months than they have in centuries because we had no choice." In orbit, the Council ships continued their lazy patrols, their crews bored with watching what they thought was a beaten planet. They never noticed the small teams of humans salvaging materials from destroyed cities. They paid no attention to the increased activity in certain mountain ranges. They didn't even question why some of their routine scans occasionally showed brief anomalies. "How long until we're ready?" Thompson asked Dr. Reed as they reviewed the latest test results. She looked at the data scrolling across her screen. "Give me 5 years. We need to build everything in secret, stockpile resources, and train people to use the new technology. They think they have all the time in the world. So let's use that against them." The Council thought they had crushed humanity's spirit. Instead, they had forced humanity to evolve faster than ever before. In the darkness beneath Earth's ruined cities, a storm was brewing, one that would shake the galaxy to its foundations. 5 years had passed since the Council's attack on Earth. On the surface, humanity appeared broken and subdued. But beneath the moon's crater-marked surface, Admiral Tom Wilson stood in a massive hidden hangar, looking at Earth's secret fleet. "How many ships are ready?" he asked his second-in-command. 50 warships, sir, all equipped with Dr. Reed's hybrid weapon systems. The aliens won't know what hit them." The lunar shipyards were humanity's greatest secret. Built inside natural caverns and expanded over 5 years, they housed humanity's revenge. Each ship combined stolen alien technology with human ingenuity. Their hulls contained the same material as Council ships, but improved by Dr. Reed's team to absorb and redirect energy. On Earth, the Council's patrol ships had grown lazy. They'd reduced their numbers, confident that humans were no threat. Only 3 observer ships remained in orbit, their crews bored with watching what they thought was a primitive species struggling to survive. Deep in the Rocky Mountain bunker, Commander Thompson studied the latest intelligence reports. The Council's nearest reinforcement fleet is 2 weeks away at their fastest speed, he told his officers. "Once we start, we'll have that long to secure our solar system." Dr. Reed had made another breakthrough in her underground lab. She held up a small device to the base commander. "We've cracked their faster-than-light drive technology," she said, her eyes bright with excitement. "But we've done something they never thought of. We've combined it with our understanding of quantum mechanics." The device hummed softly, creating a tiny bubble of warped space. "Their ships can travel through space quickly," she explained. "But ours will be able to do something they can't. Make short jumps instantly, like a combat teleport." In secret bases around the world, soldiers trained with new weapons and technology. Plasma rifles that could pierce Council shields. Armor made from enhanced alien materials. Combat suits with short-range teleport capabilities. Everything was tested underground, hidden from the Council's watchful eyes. Admiral Wilson called a final meeting of Earth's military leadership in the lunar base. "Tomorrow," he said, looking at each person in turn, "we show them their mistake. Every Council observation post, every patrol ship, every monitoring station. They all die at the same time." The plan was simple but needed perfect timing. Earth's fleet would launch from the moon's dark side. Ground forces would strike observation posts simultaneously. The Council's communications would be jammed using their own technology against them. That night, as the crews made final preparations, Dr. Reed visited the lunar hangar. She walked up to Admiral Wilson, who stood staring at the fleet. "Beautiful, aren't they?" she said. The ships were sleek and dark, unlike the bright silver of Council vessels. They looked dangerous, like predators waiting to strike. Each one carried enough firepower to level a city, but with precision the Council had never managed. 5 years, Wilson said quietly. 5 years of hiding, of pretending to be weak, of watching them strut around our planet like they own it. He turned to Dr. Reed. "Was it enough time?" She nodded. Their technology was advanced, but they stopped innovating centuries ago. They got comfortable. We've taken everything they showed us and made it better, stronger, more efficient. She paused. And we've created things they've never dreamed of. At midnight Earth time, the final orders went out through secure channels. Troops moved into position near every Council outpost. The fleet powered up silently in the lunar hangar. In her lab, Dr. Reed initiated the satellite network that would disrupt Council communications. Commander Thompson addressed his forces one last time. Remember what they did to our cities, our families, our world. Tomorrow, we show them that humanity doesn't break. We adapt, we overcome, and we never forget. In orbit, the Council ships continued their patrols, their crews half asleep at their posts. They had no idea that beneath the moon's surface, behind its cratered face, humanity's arsenal was ready. They didn't know that in less than 6 hours, their comfortable assumption of superiority would be shattered forever. The countdown to humanity's revenge had begun. At exactly 6:00 a.m. Earth time, humanity launched its counterattack. The Council observation ship over North America was the first to notice something wrong when its sensors detected movement from the moon's dark side. Impossible, the alien captain muttered, staring at his display. 50 dark shapes emerged from the lunar surface, moving with deadly purpose toward Earth orbit. Before he could send a warning, his ship's communications went dead. Admiral Wilson stood on the bridge of the flagship Revenge, watching as Earth's fleet moved into attack position. All ships, weapons free, he ordered. Show them what humanity has learned. The Council ships never had a chance to raise their shields. The first volley of hybrid weapons, human nuclear warheads combined with alien plasma technology, tore through their hulls like paper. All 3 observation ships exploded simultaneously, their debris creating bright stars in Earth's morning sky. On the ground, human strike teams emerged from hidden bunkers. They wore combat suits reverse-engineered from alien technology, but improved with Dr. Reed's innovations. Short-range teleporters allowed them to appear inside Council observation posts, bypassing external defenses completely. "Clear," shouted a squad leader in what used to be Beijing, standing over fallen alien guards. Similar reports came in from around the globe as humanity reclaimed its planet piece by piece. In lunar orbit, Admiral Wilson received the updates with grim satisfaction. Phase 1 complete, he reported to Earth Command. Beginning Phase 2. The Earth fleet split into 3 groups. The first remained to defend Earth. The second, led by Wilson, headed for Mars to free the colony. The third group began systematically destroying every Council monitoring satellite and beacon in the solar system. Dr. Reed watched from her command center as her weapons performed even better than expected. The Council's supposedly impenetrable shields offered no protection against humanity's hybrid technology. Each blast carried the raw power of a nuclear explosion, but focused into a precise beam, guided by stolen alien targeting systems. "Their reinforcements will be here in 13 days, Commander Thompson reminded everyone. "We need to secure the entire solar system before then." The Mars operation proved surprisingly easy. The Council had left only a small garrison, believing humans would never reach the Red Planet again. Admiral Wilson's ships appeared from quantum jumps directly above the Council positions. The alien guards surrendered after watching their first defense ship vaporize under Earth's new weapons. "Mars is secure," Wilson reported. "The colony is free." But the Council wasn't completely helpless. A hidden alien base on Europa, Jupiter's moon, launched a desperate counterattack. 3 Council battleships emerged from under the ice, charging toward Earth's fleet. "Show them their second mistake," Wilson ordered his crew. The human ships didn't try to dodge. Instead, they activated their energy absorption shields, a technology Dr. Reed had not only copied but perfected. The Council ships' weapons fire disappeared into the dark hulls of Earth's vessels, making them stronger with each hit. "Return fire," Wilson commanded. The Council ships exploded in perfect unison, their remains scattered across Europa's icy surface. By the end of the first day, humanity had reclaimed its solar system. Every Council observation post was captured or destroyed. Every monitoring device was disabled. Every alien ship was eliminated. For the first time in 5 years, Earth's skies belonged to humanity again. In her lab, Dr. Reed activated the final phase of their plan. The quantum communication device she'd developed began broadcasting on all Council frequencies. The message was simple but powerful. You thought you broke us. Instead, you taught us. You thought you owned us. Now we're free. You have 12 days to prepare for our arrival. Humanity is coming. Admiral Wilson looked at the image of Earth growing larger in his viewport as the fleet returned home. Send word to all ships and bases, he ordered. Phase 3 begins tomorrow. We're taking the fight to them. On Council worlds across the galaxy, the message played on every communication channel. Many laughed at first, thinking it was a joke. But when no word came from their forces in the Sol system, the laughter died. For the first time in their history, the Council felt something unfamiliar. Fear. The hunters were about to become the hunted. The Council's grand chamber erupted in chaos. Alien representatives from 100 worlds shouted and argued as reports of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy. The massive holographic displays showed the complete destruction of their forces in the Sol system. Impossible. The Council speaker roared, his ceremonial robes shaking with rage. They were primitives. We destroyed their military. On another Council world, a military command center received desperate calls for help. The humans weren't waiting for the Council's reinforcement fleet to arrive. Instead, Earth's ships had appeared near major Council shipyards, using their new quantum jump technology to bypass all outer defenses. Commander Thompson led the assault on the largest shipyard in the Centauri sector. His ships emerged from quantum jumps directly inside the facility's defensive perimeter. All ships target their construction base, he ordered. Don't let them launch any new vessels. The Council's mighty shipyard, which had built warships for centuries, burned. Their shields, designed to block attacks from outside, were useless against ships that appeared inside their perimeter. Human hybrid weapons cut through the facility's hull like a hot knife through butter. Back on Earth, Dr. Reed made another breakthrough. She stood in her lab, studying data from their captured Council ships. Look at this, she told her team, pointing to complex energy patterns. Their entire technology is based on a single principle, and it's flawed. The Council had used the same basic technology for thousands of years, never bothering to innovate because they faced no real challenges. But humans, forced to learn and adapt quickly, had found weaknesses the Council never imagined. Admiral Wilson's fleet struck next, attacking the Council's primary fuel production facility. The alien defenders were caught in confusion, their rigid military doctrine useless against humanity's unpredictable tactics. Earth ships would appear, strike hard, and quantum jump away before the Council could respond. They're not fighting like primitives, a Council commander reported in panic. Their weapons are stronger than ours. Their shields absorb our attacks. They appear and disappear at will. News spread among other species that had suffered under Council rule. A race called the Delari, who had been conquered centuries ago, watched recordings of Earth's attacks with growing hope. The Council wasn't invincible after all. Dr. Reed's discovery spread through Earth's fleet. Their shield technology, their weapons, their FTL drives, they all used the same type of energy field, she explained to the military commanders. And we've learned to disrupt it completely. The Council called an emergency session, but they couldn't agree on how to respond. Some wanted to launch an all-out attack on Earth. Others wanted to negotiate. While they argued, humanity struck again and again. Commander Thompson's forces captured a Council data center, downloading centuries of technical information and military secrets. Send everything to Dr. Reed, he ordered. Let's see what other surprises they've been hiding. The Council speaker faced angry representatives from member worlds. How could humans advance so quickly? They demanded. 5 years ago, they couldn't even leave their solar system. Because you gave us no choice, Admiral Wilson's message played throughout the Council chamber. You forced us to adapt or die. We chose to adapt. And now we're better than you. The Council's military commanders reported more disasters. Their ship's shields failed mysteriously when facing human vessels. Their weapons seemed to make Earth's ships stronger. Their fixed defense stations were bypassed completely by quantum-jumping attackers. Rebellions broke out on dominated worlds as news of the Council's defeats spread. The Delari openly declared support for Earth. Other species began secretly contacting human forces, offering help and information. In her lab, Dr. Reed prepared to reveal her biggest discovery yet. Their entire civilization depends on technology they barely understand, she told Commander Thompson. They've used the same systems so long, they'd forgotten how it all works. But we figured it out in 5 years what they couldn't see in 5,000. The Council's perfect order was crumbling. Their mighty fleets stayed in defensive positions, afraid to face the humans' superior weapons. Their leaders argued while humanity struck target after target. They had spent centuries ruling through fear, and now they were the ones who were afraid. Earth's revenge was only beginning. Admiral Wilson stood on his flagship's bridge, looking at the holographic display of a secret meeting. Representatives from 12 alien species had gathered in a hidden base on an asteroid at the edge of Council space. These were races that had suffered under Council rule for centuries. "We've watched your victories against the Council," said the Delari leader, his crystalline form glowing with excitement. "For the first time in 1,000 years, we see hope." Commander Thompson, attending via secure quantum link from another raid, nodded. The Council's power was built on fear and stagnation. We've proven they can be beaten. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Reed worked with alien scientists who had secretly contacted her. They brought knowledge of Council technology that filled in the last pieces of her research. In her underground lab, she pointed to a complex diagram. "The Council's entire civilization runs on this network," she explained to the gathered human and alien scientists. "Every ship, every weapon, every shield, all connected to central control nodes. They did it to maintain power, but they've given us their greatest weakness." The alien scientists, who had spent years hiding their true knowledge from the Council, were amazed by human innovations. Where they had spent centuries making tiny, careful changes, humans had reimagined everything in just 5 years. "You've done what we thought impossible," a Delari scientist told Dr. Reed. "You didn't just copy their technology, you made it better." Reports came in from across the galaxy. Council ships were disappearing. Space stations went dark. Supply lines were cut. But it wasn't just humans now. Other species had joined the fight, using Earth's weapons and tactics. The Council chamber descended into chaos as members turned on each other. "Who else is helping them?" the speaker demanded. "How are they striking everywhere at once?" Admiral Wilson received word from his spies in the Council space. "Their fleet is divided," he told Earth Command. "Half want to surrender. Half want to launch an all-out attack. They can't agree on anything." Dr. Reed's alien colleagues helped her complete the final piece of her research. The Council built their power on a technology they found in ancient ruins, she revealed to the military leaders. They never fully understood it. They just copied it over and over for thousands of years. The combined human and alien resistance forces gathered in secret. Earth ships, now joined by vessels from other species, prepared for the final push. The Council's feared defense fleet, once the strongest force in the galaxy, sat in confusion as contradictory orders came from their fighting leaders. "We found their central control node," Commander Thompson reported after a daring raid deep in Council space. "All their power, all their technology, flows through one point. They never expected anyone to find it, let alone reach it." Dr. Reed worked with the alien scientists to create a new weapon. Not one that would destroy, but one that would disable. "Their entire network has the same flaw," she explained. "One pulse, at the right frequency, will shut down every piece of Council technology in the galaxy." The resistance fleet grew larger as more species joined Earth's cause. Ships that had once hidden from Council patrols now flew openly, wearing Earth's new symbol of freedom. Admiral Wilson looked at the combined fleet with pride. Humanity had not only survived, they had given hope to an entire galaxy. The Council thought they were gods, a Dilari commander said during the final planning session. But you humans showed us they were just bullies who had forgotten how to innovate. The final pieces were in place. The Resistance fleet, led by Earth's ships, prepared to strike at the heart of Council power. Dr. Reed's weapon was ready. The Council's leaders still argued, unaware that their time of absolute power was about to end. "Send the word to all ships," Admiral Wilson commanded. "Operation Freedom begins in 6 hours. The Council's reign ends tomorrow." Across the galaxy, oppressed species waited in hope. The Council had ruled through fear for thousands of years, but they had never faced anything like humanity, or the alliance they had inspired. The combined fleet of Earth and Resistance ships dropped out of quantum jump directly above the Council's capital world. 5,000 vessels, representing 20 different species, filled the sky. At their head, Admiral Wilson's flagship, Revenge, led the charge. "All ships, battle positions," Wilson commanded. "Today we end their empire." The Council's home defense fleet scrambled to respond, but they were too slow. 5 years of human innovations had changed the rules of space combat forever. Earth ships quantum jumped between enemy formations, their hybrid weapons cutting through Council shields like they didn't exist. In her command center on Earth, Dr. Reed monitored the battle through quantum communications. "The device is ready," she reported to Admiral Wilson. "Get your ships clear of the target zone." Commander Thompson led the ground assault, his forces appearing inside the Council's supposedly impenetrable fortress thanks to their advanced quantum jump technology. The Council guards, who had never faced a real fight in centuries, broke ranks and ran. "The main chamber is ahead," Thompson reported, leading his troops through golden hallways. "The Council is trapped inside." The Council speaker stood from his grand throne as human forces burst into the chamber. "This is impossible," he shouted, his voice shaking. "We are the eternal power. We cannot be defeated by primitives." Admiral Wilson's voice boomed through the chamber's communication system. "You made 3 mistakes. First, you attacked us. Second, you didn't finish the job. But your biggest mistake, you thought being older meant being better." Dr. Reed activated her device, a pulse of energy, specially tuned to the frequency she had discovered, spread across the galaxy at quantum speeds. Everywhere, Council technology began to shut down. Their ships froze in space. Their weapons went dead. Their mighty fortress, symbol of their power for thousands of years, turned dark. "What have you done?" the Council speaker demanded, watching his world's lights go dark. "We didn't just copy your technology," Dr. Reed's voice explained through the emergency channels. "We understood it, something you never bothered to do in thousands of years. Your entire empire was built on stolen technology you never truly mastered." The Resistance fleet secured the Council's capital as news spread across the galaxy. Celebration erupted on countless worlds as the Council's power disappeared. Ships that had terrorized civilizations for centuries now floated helplessly in space. Commander Thompson stood in the Council chamber, looking at the alien leaders who had ordered Earth's destruction. "Here are your choices," he said. "Surrender and face justice, or resist and face extinction. We're better at your technology than you are now. Choose wisely." The Council representatives looked at each other in shock. For the first time in their history, they had no choice but to surrender. Admiral Wilson landed at the fortress to oversee the transition. Representatives from Earth and all resistant species gathered in the Council chamber. Where once a single species had ruled through fear, now many species would govern together. "The galaxy needs a new system," Wilson announced to the gathered representatives. "Not control by fear, but cooperation for progress. Not stagnation, but innovation. Not conquest, but exploration." Dr. Reed arrived through quantum transport, carrying data tablets. "We're releasing all technical knowledge to every species," she declared. "No more hoarding of technology. No more artificial limits on progress. Every world has the right to advance." The former council members watched in disbelief as their thousand-year empire transformed in a single day. They had thought their power was eternal, but they had never faced a species like humanity. One that refused to accept defeat, that turned invasion into opportunity, that transformed destruction into inspiration. Commander Thompson stood with Admiral Wilson and Dr. Reed as they watched the sun rise over the council capital. 5 years, Thompson said quietly. From nearly extinct to leading the galaxy. We didn't just survive, Dr. Reed replied. We showed the galaxy a better way. Innovation instead of stagnation. Cooperation instead of fear. And we're just getting started. Admiral Wilson added, looking at the stars. There's a whole galaxy out there to explore, together. Across the cosmos, species that had lived in fear for centuries looked up at their skies with hope. The Council's dark age of oppression had ended. A new age of exploration, innovation, and cooperation had begun. Humanity hadn't just survived extinction. They had changed the galaxy forever.